And the
Yes.
third one was that to
Line and
overcome,
stuff.
yes, line and stuff, which is merged one. So is that
Yes.
like matrix organization also we have? Is that the same?
Yeah. Same. So
Okay.
matrix is again mixture of everything.
Yeah, correct. And in classical theory, there was a second principle, which is scalar and functional process. So scalar means vertical growth of an organization, and
Yes.
horizontal growth means what?
Yeah, I don't remember that name. But I must have mentioned in slides, right?
Yeah, scalar means vertical growth, that is top to
Mhm.
bottom. Like the subordinate's success will be determined by the superior one. That is clear. And the functional process was regarding horizontal growth. Now, what's that horizontal growth? That one is not very clear to me.
I don't remember now. Second one. Okay, functional process. Okay. Scalar and functional.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, scalar is vertical and the functional is horizontal.
Yeah, but what does horizontal growth means?
See, in scalar kind of organization, you realize or you try to find out whether the line which you have created is functionally well or not, whether there is a scalar of chain or not, whether there is unity of command or not, or whether people are happy with each other or not. While you go for a functional process, you try to see whether every department which you have created in organization is functioning or are they in a well coordination with other departments or not. So horizontally you see whether all the departments are coordinating with each other or not, whether they are in a harmonious relationship or not. Whereas in vertically you see whether superiors are in a good relationship with the subordinates or not.
Yes, yes. Okay. So that means horizontal growth. Okay, fine. Thank you. That's all from my side.
See, doubts is okay. Maybe you many of you having a doubt, but this is something which where I want to focus more on. Can we develop on process part, or is there any suggestion on process part? Because doubts are definitely going to look there. But anything you want to suggest on process part, like you know, content part, space part, language part, or you want me to know do some other language, like many a time you feel comfortable with English. Do you want something in Hindi, or is there anybody who doesn't understand Hindi at all? Something on process part. Do you have any suggestion on process part?
Sir, I don't remember the name, but there was a message to you that you can also use, Hindi also, because many of us cannot understand sometimes.
So you want me to use Hindi, or you don't want me to use Hindi?
No, no, you can speak in English, obviously, and also you can mix up
Okay,
Hindi too.
okay. I hope there is nobody from Tamil Nadu or Kerala. That is the case, definitely we will not use Hindi.
Excuse me, sir. I am participant from Kerala.
Okay, ma'am. Then I will not use Hindi. I know.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. That is what we want to know our audience. Okay. So we'll start today's session. I hope we have cleared the doubts. If anybody have a doubt, we have another 1 hour session, so you can raise the questions. But the only request is please mute yourself until and unless you have something to share. Say management has given us this opportunity, we should take a benefit of it. Okay. Any doubt from last session? HRM part, unit 4. Can you see screen?
No, sir.
Now you're able to see, right?
Yes.
Today's session, like there is another purpose of taking this session one to one, because today we are going to talk much on interview part, which is exactly the crux of our MGA or the main purpose of it. So whenever you have a doubt, you can ask me then and there. Okay, we have discussed the staffing. Staffing is a very comprehensive topic which includes everything: recruitment, selection. This is the last student we are in, allowed to enter in a discussion. After that, if anybody is there, you will not be able to admit it, because again I have to come back to the Google Meet page. That will disturb the entire class. Okay. So staffing, we have discussed about staffing. Staffing is a very comprehensive term which includes everything: the recruitment, selection, training, development. Normally in our colloquial language, we use these words, interchangeably. But every word has a different meaning. And by now, I hope you understood what is different with recruitment, what is different with selection. When somebody is talking about staffing, so he means something else. Okay, so make sure, especially those people who are going to have their career, or those who are looking their career in HR, they should be very clear about the terms of recruitment, selection, stuff. And if you go through the questions which we have after chapter or after unit, you will see most of the questions are based on these terminologies only. If you understood the meaning of terminology, you will be able to eliminate the options and you will be able to select the right option. Okay, we have discussed function of staffing. Recruitment we have discussed. It is just initial process, by which we apply, we ask for applications from the desired candidates. Okay, internal source, external source we have discussed. Selection is finally after you get a recruitment, after you get a lot of application, you shortlist among those applications, you finally call people for interview and then you make actual selection. And after that you send them for training. Okay. So today we are going to start a kind of interview. Again, interview is a process by which you try to analyze the person whether he is suitable for the given job. Like how we decide that, that is based on job evaluation and job analysis. What is job analysis? What is job evaluation? Obviously, we are going to again see it in a detail in today's lecture itself. Okay. So what are the kind of interviews we have? We'll see some of the interviews. We'll share some of the examples or experience which I have experience or my friends have experience, through which you can know, how to face a different kind of interviews. Direct interview, it's always, you know that you are going to appear for interviews, and the interviewer also intimate you that your interview is going to start. So there is complete awareness between interviewer and interview. Both are aware that there is going to be interview and there is a direct question asked. Okay. Whereas indirect interview is something different. Many a time you will face indirect interview. Like if I have to tell an example, I was working in a GSK GlaxoSmithKline Horlicks, and one day I got a call from my boss friend. Okay, but I didn't know that he is working with the other, which is a competitor of GSK. And unfortunately, my boss was living at that time, and he gave my reference to his friend. Okay, he was also working in Abbott. This is also nutrition product. Pediasure, you must have seen the ad of Pediasure. Okay, nutrients, micronutrients for kids. So he just invited me to Koregaon Park CCD and I went there. Obviously, he was also on a very casual dress. I was on a casual dress jeans, and I was not aware that I'm going for interview. I just thought, he had just invited me because he wanted to know something about Pune or Maharashtra because he was from Gujarat. So I went there and we were discussing. I never realized that that was actually interview form. Okay, I was just giving a simple, a genuine answer, whatever he was asking. He knew that he is taking my interview or he is interested in giving me opportunity, but I was not aware that he is giving me opportunity. So many a time you will meet the people just for the casual time. But you have to always remember that you are always a potential candidate for the person. If that person is on that status. So you should remember that you never know when people are judging and for what kind of purpose they are judging. So always be in a conscious mind what you are answering, what the implication of that question or your answer. So I went there and finally after an interview, after an interview, indirect interview, after indirect interview, he offered me, are you interested in joining the other? So that was shocking for me, but I asked him, Jatin, I never answered you, Jatin, I have not gone under a formal interview, and see, there are many things which I have not discussed. So how can you select me? That how can you directly offer me? After I got selected, I asked him. So he was saying, Pinakila, I have gone through a complete your CV. I have checked your background. I have taken a feedback from your colleague, your boss, and the day which we met in CCD, that was actually your interview. If you go back to our conversation, there were many questions which were focused on understanding your personality, your vision, your future plans. Okay, that was not a casual talk. So this is something which we call indirect interview. We can see there are many people who are unmarried. Okay, maybe you go to some marriage and you just discuss, अरे बेटा क्या चल रहा है? And you may say कि uncle ये चल रहा है, वो चल रहा है, this is what I'm doing or this is my salary or maybe you are not aware that person may be looking at you as a prospective bride or groom for their daughter or son. So okay, this is something which we call indirect interview. Okay, then we have a pattern interview. Pattern interviews, obviously, it's well set up pattern interview. They have a ready questionnaire with them, or they have a common platform to every other person. Like many a time, interview is called to be subjective. Subjective in what sense? Maybe the same question will not repeat to you, and you will maybe aware about those questions. Okay, but in case of pattern interview, questions are sent. Maybe the pattern, maybe what we mean by pattern is the question which you are getting are from a similar area. Like maybe there is a panel of 4 to 5 people. Two questions will be asked by chairman, or the person who is heading the panel. Second can be a question by sociologist, who is looking at your social background. The third interview can be from a stage manager or personality or psychologist. They will understand what is your psychological condition or how you look at the particular problem. So this is something called a pattern interview where pattern is fixed. It is non-biased. Everybody will ask the same question or maybe similar question to every individual. Maybe the kind of questions they are asking will be similar. So this is called a pattern interview. Next is a stress interview. Stress interview is normally company takes a stress interview during a promotion. This is normally not for those people who are applying for a particular company but first time. So stress interview is a common phenomena. But the only thing is normally we have observed or I have observed this is for those people who are going to get a promotion in their same organization. So normally what they do at a stress interview, they will give you some case study or some practical case. Maybe you are not aware that this is something which has given to you as a as a challenge. Maybe you are thinking it's just a part of a regular affair for you. So there are some people who will give equal attention to that and they will solve it. Or many a time people just neglect the problem and they will they will take it as casually or they may go down to the stress. They will not able to survive in the stress. So this is how company understand whether person is able to work under the extreme stress or not. Okay, maybe for a 1 week or 1.5 week, they will give you some target one after another, and they will check how much you can sustain. Okay, like many a time in our Bollywood movies or in our movies in general, we see you know uh, the protagonist, the actor, the hero gets a lot of problem one after another, but they show themselves a positive and they find a solution to everything, and finally they do. This is what companies also try to see whether person can work in a space condition, especially in those segments where you have a timeline, like salespeople, those people who have a time bounded task to perform. So especially in those cases where you have a timeline, where you have always shortage of resources, normally Companies go through a stress interview, systematic in-depth interview. Systematic in-depth interview is for those people who are looking for a particular position which requires high and in-depth knowledge about a particular phenomenon. Like maybe you are going into a manufacturing of say some nut and bolt. So obviously you require a detailed knowledge about the dimension of nut and bolt, the kind of manufacturing you need, the kind of application you have to introduce, the kind of people you need in your team. So this is something we can call systematic in-depth interview. Like I went for interview in Marico. Marico, I hope everybody knows. Marico, parachute. Okay, it's an Indian MNC company which taught Indians how to do a business in FMCG segment. So it is one of the big companies to work in industry called Marico. So when I went into Marico, after the interview they asked me whether I am carrying your laptop. I said yes, because a laptop is something which we always carry if we are into a sales. So I was carrying my laptop. Though I was in leave for that day, but I traveled to Mumbai from Pune. And you never know when you get a call from your boss and they ask for some data, or you have to make some data, compile some data, and you have to reply on something. So I was carrying a laptop. He called me and he said, "Can you open your laptop?" I opened my laptop, and then and there only he gave me a very big file, and he said, you know, bring out something from that. But he has given me some particular task. I don't remember now, but he has given me that task at that moment. I was not ready for that, but in this case, he has tried how much good you are at Excel, how good you are at making a decision at a you know at an extemporary level. If you are not aware, you are going to face a problem and suddenly you get a problem and how good you are at dealing with that. So this is something in-depth interview where they are checking in on every part. Okay. Normally, when people go for UPSC interview, civil service interview, so people have questions from different segments. Maybe something they go into a space interview. Maybe they will check on an indirect interview. Maybe it's a pattern interview. But something they go on a systematic interview. What I mean by systematic in-depth interview. Suppose you say you are a doctor and you are a doctor from a premium school like PJ Medical College, AIMS. Okay. Maybe the person who is into panel may feel that you are a doctor. Okay, you have opted for a doctor and you can serve the society by being a good doctor. But still you left that job, you already occupied one seat, you wasted one seat actually. And now you want to be IS officer again to serve society. Okay. So just to divert that person, or just to take a class of that person, they may ask you in-depth question about medical field. If unfortunately, if you have a panel member who is also a doctor. Okay, so systematic in-depth interviews, going into in-depth, maybe they will give you something, as a task then and there to perform something. Like I said, they ask you to do, some work I accept. Okay, maybe you are HR and they may give you some case study then and there, and they will say, solve this case study. There is a person, who is very good at his work. The person who is very good at work, but the only problem is his reputation about no one is not good. And normally he's known. Normally he's known in organization to harass his human subordinates or human country. But he is very good at number and the company is always struggling to achieve their numbers. So what will be your stance at that? So they will check your ethical principle, they will check your decision making capacity. Sometimes you have to make a hard decision. Okay, because ethics is something which you cannot compromise for anything, not even for a sales number. So they will check your stance and they will check your justification. But can there be a third solution, a middle path, where you will not even fire an employee and also you will ensure the safety of the life. So you have to find something. If you are able to find a solution to such problem, which is very difficult, but if you are able to find problems to such problems, maybe you will get a upper edge compared to your other competitors. Okay. Then we have a board or panel interview. Again, board or panel interviews normally happen with the positions which are comparatively in the top management level or mid management level, where you have the people from various backgrounds, somebody from a sales, somebody from a logistics, somebody from IT, somebody from some other department. And everyone, since you have to coordinate with every department, they will check they will check your knowledge about every department. Okay, see, again, the same thing which we have discussed in the past. Management is about generalist. It is not about specialist. We are not going to specialization in anything. Okay, just to share an experience, I was in a Delhi for interview with UPS. So while I was giving an interview, I was giving an interview for labor enforcement officer. Okay. So while giving a labor interview for labor enforcement officer, I had a people who were from specially labor enforcement background. Take a labor laws, they were aware of all labor laws, they were LLB, LLM, and there was only one seat available. Okay, it was a class one post, and there was only one seat was there. And I guess, I was among those very few people who did not have any legal background. So the moment I entered into all, there was a very senior lady officer. She was Rajesh officer, and she started asking me question about the labor laws, and I didn't have anything to tell them about the labor law. Okay, so every question I was saying, sorry, no, I don't know. Then some other panel member was asking me about labor law. Then I was saying I don't know. Some other person was again asking me something related to labor. Okay, but I was not aware of any of the law. I was not aware about any of the thing which is related to the labor law or labor enforcement. So finally, the IAS officer said, no, Kedar, we don't know anything about labor law, and you are going to handle the people based on your legal knowledge. If people will raise a question or people will be against you, you have to come with stringent legal laws. If you are not able to know this, or if you are not able to handle this, how you are going to handle this question? I just got that this is a USP, or this is the best question I can have. If I can answer this question, definitely there is a high probability, there is a high chances that I will get selected. I utilized that question. I answered them in a proper way, like what I answered that time. And I worked 6 years in FMCG sector. I worked in FMCG sector for 6 years. I'm a generalist person. I'm not specialist. When I entered in FMCG, I didn't know anything about FMCG. But within a 3 period of orientation or induction program, I came to know enough to survive in industry. And by the time I was working, I got enough knowledge. And right now, I'm a trainer. I'm a trainer in my own company. I give training to newcomers in FMCG industry. So I'm sure what I have is a faster understanding capability, good aptitude, good attitude. I'm a fast learner. If you give me opportunity, I'm sure by the time I will have my result, okay, I will come to know about labor laws. The most important thing which is difficult to learn is a people management. And this is something which is a skill and I already have it. I handle around 30 to 35 people and all are happy with me because I know how to handle them. I know how to communicate with my audience or how to motivate them continuously. Since I'm a student of HR, human resource management. So this is something maybe I am not able to recall word by word because this is something I have given interview 2014. But trust me, I got selected in that interview just because of one question. Because initial 10 questions were all bounced to me. I was not able to answer any of the questions. 10 questions. But the only thing is I had a temperament. This is something you can call a type of stress interview. Intentionally, they have seen my CV, they know my background, that I don't have any knowledge about law. But still, they asked me continuously 10 questions on that. But I maintained my temperament. I was sure that I know. Since they called me for interview from Pune to Delhi, they have given every practical and everything. That means definitely they have a confidence in this person. That's why they called me. Okay, by going from a recruitment to selection, they must have analyzed something. That's why they called. So let us wait and let's wait for that particular question for which they called. And if you are able to handle that particular stage and give that answer, definitely, the interviewer come to know a lot of things about. I got selected in that. So what we are discussing is a board or parent. Why I'm giving you examples because maybe you will face a similar situation and you have to work up with that situation. So why to reinvent it? You already have experience and you already had somebody else experience, maybe you can learn from that. So what we mean by board and panel interview, where you have a senior chairperson or the person who's handling all the departments, coordinating with all the departments. Another people will from different departments and they will ask question from every department. And they will represent every department and they will suggest whether this person will be able to communicate with other department or not. Maybe you are there for a sense, but logistic person also wants to know whether this person has a patience or not. Okay, can this person handle a situation where maybe due to some unavoidable reasons, logistic department is not able to perform their task. But if you have that temperament, that you will still adjust or still you will be able to handle a particular situation. This is what we call the panel or board interview, where you have a range of people who are judging you from different angles. Many a time, if you apply in a top MNC companies, you will find apart from that panel, somebody will be sitting in a corner and he or she will just observe you. They are psychologists. They just see whether the person, whatever answer he or she is giving, whether they are real or it is just a fake answer, or it is just to make a interview happy. Okay, so they know everything. They have that experience. They have taken multiple. What is your age? Whatever is your age, they have taken that many interviews. They take every day that many interviews. So you can't lie with them. Okay, within a minute they can catch you. Then again a group interview. What we mean by group interview? Here you have a multiple panel member and only one person who is giving the interview. Here you may be having a multiple people who are giving the interview with you. Okay, you are competent. And maybe there is a one person or two person who is taking it. So in a group interview, they check how fast you are compared to your competitor and coming with the answer. Okay, maybe we play a lot of games, buzzer round, kind of buzzer round. There are 10 people and they are, they throw the same question on the screen but at the same time. So how fast you come with the answer, that is something for the group interview. Or many companies instead of group interview, what they do, they take a group discussion. Okay, so group discussion is again a skill how to involve in discussion, how to initiate a discussion. If there is something where you have to show your leadership skill, like suppose there are two people who are fighting on same point, and you can intervene there and you can take a leadership role there, and you can make both the people passive. You can pacify both the people, and you can initiate or you can take the discussion ahead. So this is something you have to learn as a quality. After studying this kind of interviews, you must have realized there are many qualities which you have to work simultaneously. Confidence, confidence, Excel, working on Excel, learning about Excel. Excel is something which is mandatory in any department today. So learn about Excel, different like H2, Y2. There are different things, but not just a basic plus and minus. Learn about advanced Excel. You have a lot of courses available in the market within 2000, 4000 rupees. They will teach you very good Excel. Make sure you have that quality. Okay. This is something which can give you upper edge compared to your competitor. Okay. Temperament management, stress management, how where you are. See, you don't have to always go under stress because being a human, we are always under stress. But how you handle that situation, that is important. Even in a family matter. If you know, just giving the answer to the person is not sufficient. You have to ensure that you are also maintaining a relationship. Okay, so make out your own list that where you have to work to ensure that you have upper age, in India, or where you are lacking. Make your own planning. Okay, this is my personality, this is my background. And as I said in this lecture, interview is something which can be predictable. You can predict your own interview. How? See, you have a CV. Make sure on every point you make at least 20 to 25 questions. Like like your your graduation background. Definitely, your graduation background doesn't matter here until unless you are going for something systematic in-depth interview. Maybe in that case, or if you are going in a particular industry or very niche industry, then maybe you need knowledge about your some knowledge about your background. Otherwise, they will not ask. But suppose they are asking about your graduation background. So make sure you have a 20% ready. You have applied or you have done your graduation in science and then you applied for the MBA. Okay, MBA is something about the business. If you have already decided that you want to go for MBA, then why you applied for engineering or why you went for BSc or why you went for science? Why did you apply for BBA or BCom? You should be ready with your answer. Okay, and these are the customized questions. These are the and you have a customized answer. There cannot be one question to which will apply to everyone. So you have to make a list of the question, the possible questions, and then possible answers. Or you can do another task: send your resume to all the friends. Okay, send your resume to all the friends and tell them to ask ruthlessly whichever question comes to your mind based on my CV. You just note down those questions and try to find answer to those questions. 70 to 80% of interview can be predicted. You can predict 70 to 80% of your interview. And the way you want to take your interview. Suppose you give answer to some question in a particular way, that may lead to interview in some other direction. That means you can decide in which direction you want to take an interview. Because that person who's taking interview, he is not prepared with the question list. Okay, he is just going with the flow. So whichever direction you want to take it, you can, or whichever direction she or you want to take it to her, you can do that. Okay. So task is make sure you have a good CV first of all. Once you make a CV, make questions on CV, share CV with your friends, ask them to make a question list, whichever question comes to their mind, and finally you can have a list of at least 60, 70 good questions, and then you try to answer them, and what sub question you can expect from your particular response. Make a list of it, and trust me, that will be very easy for you to prepare for any interview. Even if you get a call 1 hour before actual interview, you can prepare. But if you are just going, randomly, then maybe you will find difficult to manage that particular interview. Okay, and I can't explain you how it matters or how important it is to crack particular interview. Like I have to share you something. I went for a first interview in the GSK. It was my college placement. But after initial round, HR round, they called for a final round in Mumbai. They have office in Mumbai, head office. So when I went to head office, during the lunch break, I went outside. Fortunately, I found another person who was also there for interview. So while we were discussing personal discussion, so I have realized what kind of personality that particular person has, and I come to know that at what situation he is saying to yes and what at situation he is going to say no to the future. Okay, I played with it something, but it's not for giving somebody a wrong direction, but it was something to understand our own personality. Okay, and he has raised some of the questions. And fortunately, the same question came in there. Okay, so you never know who will judge you right or who will ask you the question which are more relevant to your CV. And the person who made me in Mumbai is still my friend. And still he says, yeah, Kedar, that day was very important in my life. Even after, it's a 10-year back, I'm saying it was my first interview. So he still says, see, just because of that one interview, you entered into FMCG sector and I entered into some other sector, I'm still struggling. And I'm still struggling and you are at a steady level. It's okay. So you never know, opportunity comes to those who are well prepared. So make sure, apart from the lectures, you also work on your own personality. And this is another task. Okay, take it seriously. You never know if one opportunity, that one interview may change your life. Okay, so this is something where we spend comparatively high time on a particular slide because I think this is the most important part in your entire MBA. Okay, apart from the knowledge, definitely you will take, but this is something about the personality. You have to develop your personality. Okay, content and everything, it's okay. If you doesn't answer about particular concept or if you don't know particular concept, it's okay, it doesn't matter. But if they have doubt on a personality, then definitely irrespective of how good knowledge you have a very low chance that you will get selected. But if you work on a personality, if they realize, hey, this person has some spark in him or her, but okay, knowledge wise maybe a little bit clear than which we can cover through training and development. Okay, in this direction you may get opportunity. In this way, you may get opportunity to work with them. Any doubt on interview part? Any doubt on interview part? Nivedita, Shikha,
No, sir, I'm clear on
Ajit,
this.
Ajit, Gaurav, Amar, Tanushree.
No, sir.
Clear?
It's clear now.
But just remember, interview is not something which happens in that 5-10 minutes. It starts much before. In fact, it starts today from today itself. Okay, it is about your own personality. So you have to understand your own personality. Then only you can sell your personality. See, you should know your own USPs, unique selling point. What different you have from others. Okay, what are your selling points? If you know your selling points, if you understand your personality, then only you can represent your personality in that particular way, which is desirable. Okay, you should know what are your selling points. If you know your selling points, not only in interview, even if you interact somebody in a train or some casual discussion, you can convince that person, or you can sell your personality to that person, provided you know your own advantages or you know your own disadvantages. Okay, your strengths and weaknesses. What I mean by advantage and disadvantage. Okay, so make sure that you spend some time to understand your own personality, to understand what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Okay. When I mean by when I say weaknesses, weaknesses cannot be I am not able to manage the time. I'm lethargic. These are not the weaknesses. Maybe some of you have, or everybody has that laziness or something like that. But when somebody asks about your weaknesses, weaknesses should be such that that it actually turns into a positive content. Like for example, somebody asks you, uh, what are your weaknesses? Okay, you can say that, so I don't have any weakness, but that is impractical answer. Everybody knows. As holy as you are lying. Okay, sir, I need a cup of tea whenever I feel very bad. Okay, when I have a hectic schedule, hectic day schedule, I normally need tea at that talking time, and that is something which I need at any condition. So this is okay. This is a weakness, but that shows that okay, he's a very hardworking person. Okay, or he know how to re-energize and again coming back to work. So this is something you have to make your answers. About strengths, about weaknesses. Strengths cannot be like I'm very punctual. ठीक है? As a strength you can say, sir, I don't like going late to anywhere, or I just make a plan, and make a plan of a day at the start of the day. Something like that, which seems genuine. Something like that, which seems genuine. Okay, so make sure you make your CV, you make your own answers, and if you want to share, take some help, you can share your CV on our email, which you have, you have it yourself. Send on it. If you want any particular feedback, definitely I will try to give that.
Sir, in interview, there is a very commonly asked question that why should I hire you? So, what could be the probable answer of this?
See, this is again USP. This is something you should encash. If they are asking you why should we hire you, see, indirectly, don't you think it is something they are saying, which this is saying that you praise yourself? And this is a very there is very thin line. You should not go with a very bold. You should not be very ambitious. Okay, you have to explain yourself, or you have to represent yourself in a very in a summer language. That what are your qualifications? That's you cannot compare with others. Like you cannot say, sir, I'm better than others. But you have to say, sir, I don't know about others, but these are the qualities which suits your job. Like we will see something called job analysis and job evaluation. If you are going for a particular interview, you know what is the duty and responsibility of that particular post. Obviously, you also know whether you have desired education, desired skill to manage that particular job. If you can match the job evaluation, job analysis, definitely you are showing them. Let's see, these are your requirements and these are my skills. And this is what I have. They both match. That's why I'm the best candidate for this position. Right?
Yeah.
This is very subjective. I can't tell you the exact answer to this. But that depends on that particular job. That depends on that particular profile. and that particular person,
Exactly. The job role.
job role. So you have to see, we are going to see what is job analysis and job venture. Once you understand that, based on that, you have to make answer. And this is something. And thanks for this question. This is very normal question. In a 10 out of 8 interview, you will get this question. Why should we hire you? Indirectly, they are giving you opportunity. Okay. Even if they are not asking this question, make sure you take interview in such direction that you will able to answer this question. This answer. Maybe question is different, but you have to answer the same thing. Why they should hire you. So this is USP, unique selling point of yourself. You have to prepare that USP. What is your positive point? What are unique? And trust me, everybody has something or other thing unique. The only thing is we doesn't realize we never brainstorm on particular thing. But if you do it, definitely you will get that positive points, that strengths of yours. Okay, take this exercise very seriously and start working on it from today itself. Because this is not an event, this is a process. Okay, this is a process and that will take a time. And that will completely see if you start today. Process of interview, we have already discussed, but still, just for the sake of revising it, when they have the process of interview, when you send your CVs, the management collects the person who was responsible for selection, collects all the CVs, they look at the different background of the people. If they find the uh, particular number of CVs are apt or they are related or they are more better than others, they will shortlist it. Then, based on the particular position, based on the particular requirement, they make questionnaire like they are looking for somebody who can shift to Gulf country or who can shift to African countries. Obviously, there will be question: Are you ready for are you ready to move to other countries, or are you ready to move to Gulf countries? So, based on the particular questions, particular job role, there must be some question which must be need to answer. So they will decide the particular criteria, particular questions related to particular post. Okay, so when you enter a cabin, many a time, you are initial at the initial stage or when you are facing some initial interviews, your initial career stage, maybe you feel little uneasy the moment you enter. So interviewer obviously make sure that he will offer or she will offer you better, and they will ask you some questions which are very familiar. Like tell me about something about yourself. Tell me something about yourself has nothing to do with your interview because this is already mentioned in CV. But these questions are just to ensure that you are at ease or you are comfortable to answer your questions. Because they also don't want to lose any good candidate, but just because of that 5-10 minutes of stress. So they also want to make you completely in your own duties. That's why they ask you some simple question like, okay, you made it. Okay, it's your CV. Yes. So this is very simple question, but still that gives you some that time, that breathing space where you can keep yourself at ease because you are suddenly in front of panel and you start thinking about it's about my career, it's about my future. So there are so many thoughts going simultaneously in your mind. So initially, as a process of interview, every interviewer tries to make you be comfortable. Irrespective of whichever interview you are doing, you will find most of the time the simple questions will come in the initial stage. Then they will start asking you in-depth questions. Okay, then obviously finally driving up the best applicants based on your interview, based on your CV, based on your different parameters. They draw the best of the applicants, and then maybe again you undergo the final interview or interview by somebody who is at a senior level, and finally they conclude the interview and they will offer you offer. So this is normally a process of interview. Now again we are going to one important chapter that is performance appraisal. Okay, performance appraisal is not just about increment in salary, or it is not just the activity which every organization performs at the end of the year. This is something which has lot of relevance. Okay, this is something which you can take as a part of controlling part, which give you awareness about where you are heading, what is the satisfaction level of your employees, how much turnout you are going to see in coming year. Okay. Normally you will see normally most of the people switch their job after performance appraisal. That means performer appraisal has something in it which decides whether employee is going to continue with your organization or they are going to leave your organization. Okay. So performance appraisal is about retention. It is about lessening your attrition rate. So what means that performance appraisal? Systematic, periodic, and so far humanly possible impartial rating of employees' excellence. See, here we have used so far humanly possible because we know every time whenever you are going to take an interview, performance appraisal, or you are going to judge somebody, your biases will be involved. You cannot leave your emotions aside because what is the difference between humans and machines? If tomorrow a robot starts taking the performance appraisal or starts taking interviews, there will be only one difference, that is emotion. And you cannot keep your emotions aside. But we have to try as far as possible, we will be impartial. We will not give advantage to some particular person and disadvantage to particular person because of his or her background. Okay, so what is performance appraisal? There is a systematic that every year we do it. There's a particular format to do a proposal. There's a periodic every year, every 6 months, every quarter, whatever format particular company decides, they go for a periodic performance appraisal. And it is supposed to be impartial. Otherwise, if it is already decided that the particular person is going to get a promotion or going to get a higher salary increment because that particular person belongs to the same city where my boss belongs. So, so that is injustice. So normally it has to be impartial. So what is performance appraisal? Normally based on your entire year performance, based on your KPIs, key performing indicators, you will be given the moment you join your organization or before starting of organization. Management gives you certain tasks. Okay, at the end of the year you have to complete these tasks. You have to increase the number of retailers. You have to ensure that our market share should be increased. You have to ensure that our product should reach to these many people. Whatever target you have decided, this is called KPIs, key performing indicators. Your performance appraisal is based on these key performing indicators. If you achieve those key performing indicators, or what percentage of this key performing indicators you achieve, based on that your performance will be appraised. Okay. So in what way performance is appraised? There can be a salary increment. Okay. There can be a transfer to a desired location. Like I was working in Raipur, Chhattisgarh. My first placement, my first job location was Raipur, Chhattisgarh. Where nobody from my family has ever visited Chhattisgarh. But still, I went there. I stayed there. I followed all the KPIs. I have completed all my KPIs. Then they finally decided, okay, I was about to resign. They came to the performance appraisal and said, Kedar is about to resign. He got opportunity in Kolkata. And they are offering me Pune location. Then obviously my boss said, okay, wait for another 6 months. I will promise you, we will give you Pune location. Obviously, that is always better to stay in the same company, get a increment as well as a desired location. So this is benefit of performance appraisal. Maybe giving transfer to somebody may will be punishment. Okay, like somebody is not performing well, after repeated reminder, but you don't want to remove that person. You can send him to some location which will work as a punishment. Okay, maybe person from Pune, shifted to some other place, maybe apart from Pune. So maybe it's a punishment for him. But most of the time in performance appraisal, company considers people those who want to go back to their hometown or they want to shift from this place to some other place. So this is also including performance appraisal. Then promotion is also including from performance appraisal. Maybe somebody is working very well and company is company is supposed to give a promotion to that particular person. Then that is also including performance appraisal. In reverse direction, there can be demotion, there can be reduction in salary, there can be a transfer as a punishment, or there can be anything. There can be a final notice as well. That see, this performance appraisal can be a last appraisal. If you doesn't perform according to our requirements, definitely next year you will not be there for performance appraisal. Instead of performance appraisal or instead of increment letter, you will have a termination letter. This can be a situation in performance appraisal. It is positive as well as negative. Okay. So what are the importance of appraisal? See, as I said, performance appraisal stage is very important stage. And in that particular 1 month, normally it happens in a month of March. So in that particular 1 month, many of the employees can leave your organization. And this is a very stressful time for HR because many a time HR will not be able to give everybody what they are looking for, but they have to manage in some or other way. If you are not going to get or if you are not able to give a required increment in the salary, maybe you are giving 8% and people are expecting 12%. So to bridge the gap of that 12%, you have to do something else. Maybe a transfer or maybe some extra responsibility or reducing some responsibility. So you have to make sure that you have a plan for every individual so that you can ensure a more job satisfaction. Okay. So one by one, let's see what are the importance of appraisal. First, decision about salary. This is the most important part. Every employee will be waiting for March to come because they know that particular time you will have a salary increment. So that is based on industry. Sometimes you but average increment which is expected in industry is 10%. Why 10%? Can anybody tell me why average 10% salary increment is expected? Especially those who are working.
Sir, can you repeat the question?
Normally, normally the industry people expect 10% increment every year. If you are working in the same industry, people expect 10% increment. If you are switching, then maybe it's a 20-25%. But when you are working in the same industry, people normally accept 8 to 10% of increment. Why? If something below that is considered as a punishment action. Any reason to it? See, why I'm asking this question? This is not because just to check your knowledge. Because, as I said, you have to work on multiple fronts at the same time. While you are discussing HRM, you should also have a knowledge about economics. Average inflation rate, average inflation rate is 8 to 10%. That means if with my 100 rupees salary, if I'm able to buy X number of goods today, if I doesn't get 8% increment, that is 108 rupees, then I will not be able to buy the same number of goods. See what I mean? If with 100 rupees, if I'm able to buy 100 chocolates today, next year, if my increment is 100, it's a 4%. That means I will get 104 rupees, and my colleague will have 8% growth. That is 108 rupees. So with the 108 rupees, he will be able to buy 100 chocolates because of inflation, that is rising prices. But the person who has 104 rupees now will not be able to buy 100 chocolates. So purchasing capacity of that 100 rupees will change. So that's why people expect at least at least my increment should be matched or should be equal to inflation. This is what I was referring to specialists or generalists. You should have knowledge about every sector. May not be in depth. You should not be king of any subject, but you should have enough knowledge about every subject. Okay. Maybe when we are having economics or a subject, we'll see what is inflation and what are impact on salary, how it is related with your earning, purchasing capacity. For those people who are not from economics, maybe they will finding it a little difficult to understand inflation, purchasing capacity, and so on. Okay. So salary increment is something which is very important during the performance appraisal. If people doesn't get if people doesn't get a salary which they are expecting, definitely they will switch. And there is another opportunity. See, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong even if you switch after having the appraisal because this is bound to happen. In the private industry, nobody wants to stick to company for a long time. Normally, maybe there are people who are more loyal to particular organization. They won't leave that organization. So love your job, not the company. Okay? You normally what people do after getting a 10% or whatever increment you are getting, they switch to other job so that they can ask for another 20-30% growth. If they leave before performance appraisal, they will get 20-30% increment. But if they leave after performance appraisal, they will get additional 10%. Okay, based on this letter, they can ask for a more 30%. So this is also a trend why people switch, or normally there is high number of jobs available after March. Why? Because many of the people leave their organization after performance appraisal or incremental salary. Okay. So improve job performance. So if your MBA is going to complete after maybe say April, May, June, whenever, but you should start finding job from February itself, because this is a time where most of the companies start their appraisal process, and at that time most of the employees take a decision about either continuing with the organization or leaving the organization. So vacancies, normally you find vacancies in month of March to May, June. Okay. Then improve job performance, like somebody is there who is going under a performance appraisal. You come to know that this person is not able to achieve these key performing indicators. So at least you will come to know where this person is lacking. If this person is lacking at a particular point, you can provide him a training, or you can, as a boss, you can give him a suggestion, or you can guide him how to overcome the particular problem. So that will lead to improve in job performance. You cannot just fire a person since he is not performing. You also have to find out why particular person is not able to perform that particular task. Because even if you change the person, maybe he will face the same problem. So it is always better to find the problem rather than changing it. Okay. Normally good companies doesn't appreciate firing the people, because they have believed in their system. If people are not able to perform, there must be some problem with our system. Because while we are recruiting them, while we are selecting them, we are ensuring that they have enough capabilities. If they are not able to perform, that means our interview process was wrong, or our system has some problem. Because person was same, which we have seen during the interview, or his past performance also shows that person has a capability, but still is not able to achieve the desired target. That means something is wrong, and we have to work on that. So performance appraisal also helps to improve your job performance. Okay, today we have a lecture till 1:30 off. I hope we don't have any problem. If somebody has, they can do it. I don't have any issue. But why I want to continue is this is something which we're supposed to finish in 1 day, because there are many things interrelated. Okay, so this is about salary, improve job performance, minimize the communication gap between employer and employee. Suppose there is somebody who is working at a particular position, and he is finding there is lot of infiltration from other territories. Like like every state is divided. Okay, and suppose say Gaurav is heading Maharashtra, and Gaurav finds that a lot of stock is coming from Bangalore or Karnataka. To complete their target, they are sending, or in another case, somebody is following unethical practices, which is working as a hindrance for the people who is working in Maharashtra to complete their target or to achieve their target. Management can blame on Maharashtra that okay, you are not able to achieve the target, but look at the Karnataka, they are achieving their target very well. Okay, so it is not advisable, or it is not the right choice to fire that person who is working hard. Rather, communicate with the person, understand the problems which he is facing, and together, solve that problem. Here, not only you will solve the problem of Maharashtra, you will also able to understand what are the illegal practices which are applied by other states or other people. Okay, so it is actually opportunity to find out the gaps, or it is to find out the loopholes in your organization. So it gives that platform to communicate with every employee, to understand what is their target. Like we have seen in management objective. Organization always want to match their objectives with individuals' objectives. So you will understand. Okay, suppose Suresh, you are not performing as per your expectation. What is the issue? Sir, I'm not happy with the location because my father is ill, or my mother is not able to manage her daily routine job. So I want to help her. So I want to go back to my hometown. That's why I'm not performing. So the person who is emotionally not stable will not be able to give his 100% or 100%. So definitely you have to communicate with the person. You have to give them the right direction, or you have to understand their problem. The person is mentally stable. Definitely, he will give more than 100% to their job. So what is required is to communication. Communicate between employer and employee is very essential. To understand the objectives of organization as well as to understand the objectives of individual. If they both are matching, obviously both will achieve a new heights. That is something called synergetic effect. One plus one is two, but in a synergetic effect, one plus one can be more than two. This is what we call synergetic. Okay. Training rate of an employee can be identified. If people are doing well, but they are not aware about particular kind of technology, or they are not aware about the changing market trend, you can send them under a training. Like you have seen, those who visit banks normally. I'm taking a example of SBI, which is notoriously known for lethargy. So if you are going to SBI, they normally enter, or they normally use their keypad with one finger. Okay, that takes a lot of time. So many times you realize here, see, when you go to SBI, that person just talk to you and he just type everything, whatever she or he needs. And look at the SBI person, he asks a lot of questions, then he starts typing it. So it delays and it wastes a lot of time. So this also you can give as a feedback to SBI that your employees are not enough trained to work on a computer. So organization can take that as a suggestion, or they can come to know from their own employees why you are not able to serve. When you see operation management, you will see how many customers you handle within that particular time. This is operation management. Like, okay, how many people can take a darshan in that particular time? This is what operation management. If you go to Tirupati, if you go to Meenakshi Amma temple, or if you go to Tanjavur, the big temples, normally they have that operation management. How many people can uh, take a darshan in that particular time during that particular festival? So this is about operation management. So this is also management task. So definitely there can be mistake in our system. Either our people are not enough trained, or our system is very slow, or our cube system is not accurate. Okay, or our departmentalization is not accurate. There must be some mistake in our own system. So they interact with people, they come to know what is the issue with their own employees. If they are not enough trained, then they can go under training. Like you can take SBI people to train for their typing speed. And it is not something which is a very difficult task. If they realize their problem, the most important problem is realizing the problem. If you identify the problems, definitely you can find a solution. If you don't identify the problem, and if you just neglect, this is not a problem, then maybe the complication can go out of your hand. Like a recent example of a corona. If you identify the symptoms, and if you realize or if you accept, okay, maybe there is chances that I may have corona positive. So you go under a test, either you will have positive or negative, you can take the treatment. If you don't identify the problem, then it is just a fever. I know it will be fever. Every time I get this fever. So maybe applications can be more in that particular case. So you have to identify the problem. In SBI, if you don't identify your typing speed of your people, maybe there are many customers who will shift to private banks or other banks. You will lose your customers. You will lose your status of too big to fail bank in India. It is the biggest bank, public sector bank. So they have to act according to their status. So once you identify the problem, you can send people to train. So performance appraisal gives you that opportunity to understand or to identify the employee training need, whether they are able to perform their job as per expectation or they are lacking somewhere. If they are lacking somewhere, we can send them to training. And there are many people, there are many professional trainers, and it's a big industry for those people who have interest in providing training. So those who want to grow there, you can work in industry, and after that you can become a trainer after having some kind of experience, especially for women, because this is something which is very comfortable job, and you can work as per your schedule. This is called something freelancer job. So there is one person which I remember, Karthik Rana. Okay, he was he was he was a sell when Real Juice was launched, and Real Juice was the biggest hit till today in FMCG industry. Okay, while launching the Real Juice, he was a sell of Real Juice. So when he provides training to us for each session, session means that 7 to 8 days session of training, he used to charge 25 to 30 lakh rupees. Okay, just for the people of 15 to 20 people. Okay, it is such a big industry. Okay, because company also realize if you are not spending on a training, that means you are losing something very important. Like there is a quote: if you are not spending on advertisement, and if you think that you are saving your money, it is like stopping a watch to save the time. Okay, if you withdraw sell or if you stop the watch, you are not saving the time. You are fooling yourself. Similarly, if you are not providing a regular training to your employees, you are not saving money. You are fooling yourself. You are making your people inefficient. So training is very, very, very essential for any organization. Okay, then we have a promotion. Obviously, performance appraisal ensures that people, those who are performing well, or those who are expecting their promotion, their promotion is due. Obviously, through performance appraisal, you can get their promotion. If suppose somebody you come to know that he is leaving organization because of he is getting promotion in some other organization, and that is common phenomenon. Okay, always people are interested in giving promotion to people who are coming from outside. Okay, people are not interested in giving promotion to their own people because they know they are already in our organization. Why we need to promote them? But if somebody is coming because of promotion, we must attract them. So you also have to use the same technique, showing letter to your boss. See, sir, I got a promotion in some other organization, and I'm doing. So maybe that person will say, okay, wait for 2 days. I will have a word with HR and I will see what we can do for you. So maybe with this letter, you can have your own promotion in coming performance after the May or April. Okay, so normally importance of performance appraisal is during that time most of the people get the promotion, they leave their previous position and they are here. The newcomers, those who are looking for a job can enter. That's why again you have a lot of vacancies in the month of March. April. Job satisfaction can be achieved. See, if you are given the opportunity to show his or her creativity, they will be more satisfied. So how can we provide that platform? By knowing what is expected by that particular employee. If you know his or her expectation, you can provide platform to complete the task which they want to complete. Okay, maybe somebody wants to give time to their family, so he wants a transfer to their family, or somebody who wants to work in a metro city, you can transfer that person to my metro city. Or somebody wants to work in some other segment, like somebody working in a general trade, but you want to work in a key account market. So you can give a that transfer to that person. Somebody is working in a sales, but want to shift into a marketing, or want to work in a marketing, but he want to shift into advertisement industry. You can give a different platforms to the person so that you ensure a job satisfaction. Because satisfied employee can give you more than 100%. Okay, so organization also wants to break that monotony that person is working same job for a long time. Like see, as I just mentioned about SBI, it's not their mistake that they never answer or they never look at you or they never care about you because they are also frustrated. They are doing same job. They are doing same job for years to come. For years and years, they are working on the same job. So obviously, there is little frustration on it. Like you look at the conductor, the ticket collector, or the conductor in a bus. They don't have any interest in you. They are doing the same task on years and years. If you ask them same question for twice or twice, maybe they will shout at you. Like you never will, right? Because they are frustrated. They understand their position. So if you give a transfer or if you provide internal platform to work in a different department, maybe you will have better job satisfaction. People will not have that monopoly. Okay, but there are many companies who doesn't realize the importance of job satisfaction and they think, especially in a government job, they think karna is a government job, but you have no other option because it's a government job and you don't want to leave this job. You normally go through whatever they are giving. You may not get a regular performance appraisal because they know the employee is not going to leave our organization because it's government. But this time government has come with some Karma Yogi platform, Karma Yogi platform, where where government has realized the importance of job satisfaction, importance of training, importance of performance appraisal, advantages of giving incentives, monetary as well as non-monetary incentives. So through this principles, government also wants to run their public enterprises. Okay, but we don't know how much it will be successful because again, the heads of these departments will not be from private industry. They will again from government industry. So that climate will continue. That is what we have said. If you have outsourcing or external source, if you are hiring employees from external source, that will bring a new energy, that will bring a new knowledge, that will bring a new technology. But again, if you are circulating employees or hiring employees from internal source, you will have a similar results. Okay, transfer we have already discussed. Then discharging employee who is not fit for the job, obviously we have discussed. After performance appraisal, we have realized that after saying so many times this person is not working as per the organization expectation, so finally you have to discharge the employee by giving termination letter. Grievances of employees are eliminated. Maybe some person having not good relation with his boss, or maybe he's not happy with the location, or whatever grievances he or she may be out. Okay, or he or she may not be getting the expenses on time, salary on time, or not good with whatever the system company has. You can understand. Okay, what is your problem? Okay, these are your grievances. You can solve those grievances during appraisal process. Okay. So again, we have seen two very important parts today. One is interview. Make sure you go through the interview part today itself. You open your CV, or if you have not made your CV, you make your CV or start at least making a CV. Search on internet how to make a CV. Make sure that you spend some time on interview part. Make sure you spend some time to understand your own personality. In written form, write down your strengths and weaknesses. Okay. In that way, maybe it will also help you to decide or to select your specialization. Whether you are more interested in HRM, whether you are interested more in operation, whether you are interested more in marketing, or any other option. Okay, but do spend some time on understanding your own personality. Find out your USPs, unique selling points. Okay. There are some limitations of performance appraisal. This method is unreliable. See what we mean by reliable. When we go through a subject of research methodology, we will come to know what is reliable, what is validity, what is reliability, what is validity. Reliable means if you are not getting same result, if you repeat the process, that is something which is not reliable. Okay. There are a few people to whom you call, hey, he is not reliable. He is not reliable means what? If you ask him same question now, he will give a different answer. And if you ask the same question after some time, he will give a different answer. So this is something called not reliable. So you cannot trust on that person. So not reliable means something where you cannot trust. Performance appraisal. Not reliable in exact sense. Maybe Nivedita's performance appraisal done by me. Maybe I will give a different feedback. But after that, somebody else, like maybe Gaurav is taking a performance appraisal of Nivedita. Maybe he will give a very different perspective or very different uh, you know, uh, score to Nivedita. Why? Because it is not reliable. It is depend on personality. Okay, it is depend on human emotions or biases. So maybe the boss who is not in a good relationship or is not healthy relationship with subordinates may not give him a good rating, but somebody else who is in a good image with the boss who is not performed well, but still he may get a better ranking. Why? Because human biases. Because performance appraisal is not reliable. To avoid this reliability, organizations are not going on a system. System in the sense computerized performance appraisal. They are giving quantitative targets. They are giving quantitative targets, and because quantitative targets are easy to measure, they will realize, okay, this was a target and this much percentage that's achieved. So this is what we deserve as a performance appraisal. So there is no human intervention. Okay, on qualitative measures, okay, even we can try to convert these qualitative measures into quantitative measures. This is one of the limitation of performance appraisal. Obvious bias is again involved in reliability. Okay, no uniform standards followed by supervisors. maybe for performance appraisal, somebody may think this is the most important quality which this is the most important task which one should perform. Maybe other boss will think, no, no, this is not very important. This is anyhow a derivative function. This is something which is very important. Okay, so there is no uniform standard followed by supervisors. Maybe he will give a high marks to to something which is different from other person's performance. So this is not uniform standard. There is no format through which you can decide performance appraisal. So you will find nepotism, chacha bhatija bargain for performance appraisal. Okay, somebody who is appraised his boss always, or somebody who laughs on a stupid jokes of a boss may get a better performance appraisal, and somebody who is not, somebody who is more logical with respect to jokes may not get a better performance appraisal. Okay, this is about performance appraisal. Methods of performance appraisal. Ranking method. Ranking method again we have discussed. There are five people. There are five people who decide based on their KPIs, based on their achievements, who is to be given what rank. So what they do, they decide based on number of subordinates and give them rank. Based on their ranking, their performance appraisal will decide. Like somebody who is in A category will get a 10% performance appraisal. Those who are into a B category may get 7 to 8% of performance. And those who are in C category may get 2 to 4% of increment of the salary increment. So this is something which you decide based on ranking method. Paired comparison method. You cannot place all the people on the same platform at a certain time. Like you cannot compare the performance of person who is working in a Pune with the performance of somebody who is working in a very small town like Nasik. But compared to Pune, Nasik is smaller. So you cannot compare those persons. Or you cannot compare, suppose Maharashtra is Chhattisgarh, because they both have different resources. So you have to compare Maharashtra with some other equally competitive state, or somebody who has similar population or similar resources. So you establish that paired comparison method to give a performance appraisal to particular person. Post distribution method. This is another way where organization will decide. This is a parameter and this is something you have to apply. Okay, or many a time they give it to their own bosses. You have to decide on what way you have to give the promotion. Okay, this is something which is not followed by standard companies. Okay, because this is completely autonomy given to boss. Then grading system, you decide a grade, and based on particular grade you decide the performance. If somebody has achieved this grade, maybe he will get a promotion as well as highest salary increment. Somebody who is not achieving that grade may get just a transfer or just get a promotion or just get a salary increment. Something like that, you decide a grading, and based on those grading, you give performance numbers to that particular person. Checklist, again checklist, there are certain criteria which are given to you at the start of the year, and you have to complete these tasks. If you have completed these tasks, you will get this. If you have not achieved this, if you have achieved 50% of them, 60% of them, you will get this. So this is something which is decided at the start of the year. So this is something which we are discussing, which reduces human biases. So checklist is nothing but your KPIs, key performing indicators. You have to achieve these things. If you achieve, you will get promotion. If you not, you will not. Okay. The critical incident method. Maybe maybe in a cricket match you will find that somebody has scored 100 runs. Okay, and this is the highest run somebody has scored, and the bowler or somebody who took a number of catches at a very crucial time. Okay, and that particular catch or that particular wicket has changed the entire match. Okay, that was a very critical incident. So if you have performed in that critical incident, maybe you will get a better performance appraisal. Okay, so company also realized, like we shared about Nestle case study. Okay, Nestle has gone through a very tough time when they had carcinogenic, when the carcinogenic item in their noodles and even in the Nestle. Sorry, that powder, baby powder. Okay, they found some carcinogenic material. So the entire image of Nestle was at stake. But there were many people, there were many employees of the Nestle who work hard to overcome this challenge, and they have ensured that within a year, Nestle will back to the same market level or same market share or same price of their shares in the market. There will be the same demand for their shares in the market. So those employees will definitely get a better performance appraisal compared to others. So there are different methods which organization applies to give better performance appraisal to people. Their own employees. Okay, any doubt on this thing? Okay. So finally we are on our last slide, job analysis and job evaluation. Okay. And this is an exercise for you. You have to make a job analysis and job evaluation for any job which you feel comfortable. Okay, it can be for your maid. Okay. So what is job analysis? Job analysis is a process to identify and determine in detail the particular job duties and requirements and the relative importance of these duties for a given job. So suppose you are preparing a job analysis for a particular position. So you must understand what job that particular person has to perform. Suppose you are making a job analysis of your maid. So she must know how to cook. Okay. So the job analysis of the parameters which will decide, okay, of the qualities you require, like cooking or maybe the washing utensils or something else, whichever you want to give a task to that person or the particular job. So whatever duties or whatever requirements that performance should perform is called a job analysis. Means suppose there is a sales head, what or sales manager of a particular territory. So what job analysis of that particular territory, a sales manager of particular territory is to manage that particular territory, or to manage a team of 10 people. He should be able to have a good relationship with the vendor, or he's supposed to be have, or he or she supposed to have a better rapport with the distribution channel or distributors of that particular territory. So these are the job analysis. What is job analysis? What is a particular duty and requirement that particular post has to perform? It's a job analysis. And how you come to know about the job analysis, that is dependent on your past experiences. Like we are making a job analysis for sales manager Pune. So what you do, you will make sure other sales manager who are working in other territory, what is their duty, what task they are performing in their particular territory. You will ask from them, or you will circulate a questionnaire. Based on that you understand what job they are doing, and you come to know that, okay, this particular job has this responsibility and this duties. So this is about job analysis. So as I said to while answering Vidya's question, you must understand the job analysis before applying or before going for interview. If I get selected for this particular post, what are the tasks I have to perform there? Okay, if you know those minute things, I have to do for this thing, I have to ensure this thing, I have to ensure this thing, then obviously you are in a better position to represent yourself in that particular role. Okay, because already your interviewer has some image about the person whom he or she is going to select. So you can give an amplification to the particular image. You can show that, sir, I'm that person whom you are imagining. Okay, so it is essential to know the job analysis. Then job evaluation. Job evaluation is a detailed study of the job concerning education, skill, training, experience, and intelligence. One is that image or what that particular post has to perform. Second is a job evaluation. What are the skills required to do that job? Okay, like like maid supposed to cook every day too. What are the qualities required to do that job? You should be good at cooking. You should have better awareness about cooking. You should know multiple dishes. You should multiple dishes. You should also be good at cooking non-veg. Those who are interested in non-veg. So somebody who from Bengal, their criteria must be, she should be know how to cook fish, various kind of fish or seafoods. So this is something, a background or education you need to perform that particular job comes under job evaluation. Okay. So job analysis is what is the job, what that job needs to have to perform, and job evaluation, what are the qualities you require to perform that particular job, like what education you require, what skills you require, what should be your level of training, experience, intelligence, whether you have worked in a particular department or whether you have experience in working in a particular industry or a particular role. So this is something which you require, and this comes in a job evaluation. And job analysis is what kind of duties that particular post have to perform. If they both are matching, that means person is selected. Okay, these are the requirements of particular job. See, suppose we are going for HR job. HR job in a IT sector. Okay, so the boss has given certain tasks. See, attrition rate in the IT sector is very high. So we have to ensure that you will improve the retention of employee. Like normally attrition rate is 2 years. I mentioned that every 2 years people change the job. Make sure that you goes 2.5 years, 3 years. You cannot completely eliminate the attrition, but try to make something better than what we have today. Okay. So what kind of qualities you require a job evaluation? Better communication skill. Okay. Better understanding. Okay. Arranging something which people are looking. Like people feel frustrated or they don't find a good environment to work here. Or colleagues are not interacting with each other. Arrange a camp. Arrange a camp out of Pune. In some isolated place. Take them there, ensure that people interact with each other, they should know each other. You make a very friendly environment in organization so that when people will come back to their work, they will have a better communication with each other. So this is something, these skills we are looking from HR in IT sector. So if you are able to match the both, you can answer the question which Niveta has raised. Why should we select? You should select me because whatever job analysis you have, whatever qualities you are looking for, I have those qualities. Okay, so before going for any interview, make sure you have good knowledge about job analysis and job evaluation. Okay, this is for today. Tomorrow we are going to start unit 5. Okay, any doubt? Because tomorrow we will have a Monday communication. Okay.